have a very special guest with me today, Congressman Raja Krishnamoorthi from the 8th District of Illinois State. Thank you. Thank you, Raja, for being with me today.
Thank you, Priya.
Ours is a very casual
Sure.
fireside chat kind of thing. So it will be very casual. Before we begin, I would like to know a little more about yourself.
Sure.
Like, where were you born?
I was born in New Delhi. My mother's family migrated from Tamil Nadu to...
Which part of Tamil Nadu? You know that?
I think it was Tanjore district.
Tanjore.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
And so they moved to New Delhi when my grandfather was doing work in the Defense Department. His job was with the Department of Defense, so he would be rotated throughout India.
Oh, okay.
Yes, yes. And then my father and mother got married in New Delhi, and I was born there.
Oh, okay. So where did you grow up then? What age you came to America?
When I was 3 months old, Priya.
Okay.
And we moved to Buffalo, New York. And then my father completed his studies and then got a job teaching engineering in Peoria, Illinois. So that's where I really grew up, Peoria, Illinois. Yeah.
Bradley University.
Bradley, yes, exactly. Yeah. So my parents actually lived there for 40 years. And
40 years.
40 years, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
And so I grew up there, and my brother grew up there. We went to elementary school, middle school, high school there.
So after that, you went to Princeton for mechanical engineering.
Correct. Right? Actually, after that, I got a job, and it was in the consulting industry, and I did that for a couple of years. And then I went to Harvard Law School, and then I came back to Chicago and got a clerkship for a federal judge. And then after that, I went to the private sector and became a partner at Kirkland & Ellis, a law firm here.
Oh, okay. So when did you decide to enter public service? When was that aha moment or enlightening moment where you decided that, okay, politics is my path?
I didn't know politics would be my path. I thought I would work in government at some point, maybe during college. And I thought, okay, someday, if I have a chance, I would really like to work in government. But I didn't ever see myself running for office.
Oh, okay. So I remember reading about you as a campaign helper in the Barack Obama's campaign.
Yeah.
So at that time, was that the moment? Or
yes, I think after he won, I thought, okay, well, maybe in this country, somebody with a maybe a non-traditional background has a chance of winning. Because until then, I really did not see myself. I didn't see people necessarily voting for someone like myself.
Really?
Yeah, I just didn't see that. I didn't see, someone voting for somebody whose name they can't pronounce, whose country of origin is so different from America and so forth. And I guess I really underestimated the people of this country, but also Illinois.
Okay. Yeah, but that's kind of strange. Because you with education from Princeton, Harvard, thinking like that.
I think I had the notion that people would still be uncomfortable
with the immigrant.
Maybe immigrant. My name has always been an issue. People can't pronounce it. People don't know. A lot of times, people don't even know the gender. They don't know what.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they oftentimes refer to me as a woman. But the main point is, I just thought that people weren't really sure who I was, and if they weren't sure, they wouldn't be comfortable voting for someone like me or electing someone like me. Yeah.
You became the congressman in 2017,
17.
Right?
Yep.
Under the Trump presidency.
Yeah.
So, which one is more challenging, being a congressman under the Trump presidency or investigating Trump as a member of the committee?
I think both.
Both?
Yeah, I think the problem with the Trump presidency was that almost every week it seemed like he was bent on doing something that was rather offensive. Probably the toughest issue for us has always been immigration. This office handles a very large number of immigration cases, as you know, because we have so many immigrants in this district. We have friends around the district who are always asking for assistance. And President Trump, former President Trump, kept making it harder and harder for people to migrate here legally.
Oh, really?
Yeah, especially from countries like India, but really from anywhere. And so we were constantly bombarded with new executive orders, new statements, new policies that made it very hard for people who were already here as immigrants, but also people who wanted to come. And so that was just one example of the types of issues that made it very challenging.
I remember one incident where you had to go to the O'Hare airport and you tried to talk with the officials.
Yes.
It was wonderful. I mean, from your side.
Well, thank you.
Did it, for us, because they were legal citizens of this country, and right?
At least green card holders.
Green card holders.
Yeah,
okay.
But as a green card holder, you have every right to be here. You're a permanent resident, and yet the former president, he said that if you were Muslim American and you were from certain countries, that you would be held up at the border. And so I think there are about a couple dozen people like that. And so my staff and I rushed to the airport. We tried to talk to the Customs and Border Patrol, and at first they refused to even acknowledge that I was there. And they wouldn't talk to me. And literally we had to bang on the door to get their attention. But I'm pleased that finally those people were allowed to come in. But that should never have happened in the first place.
Actually, those times were very difficult. I had so many incidences like that, but what you did was very nice. I mean, from your side. But as a reader of newspaper, the Trump period was more entertaining than the Biden period.
I think it was entertaining.
Every day newspaper has something, and we will laugh my God, this is crazy,
I think it's only entertaining if it's not true, right? And I think that sometimes what he said might have amused us if it were not for the fact that it had real consequences for people. It had. I mean, every time he would put people down, bully people, I think that it caused pain. And, when he would say things like, Mexicans, there's so many rapists and criminals and so forth, anybody, regardless of whether you were from Mexico or not, could kind of relate with them, right? Because we're all different shades of the same color.
Very true.
And so we've got to remember that.
Yes, very true. Raja, I was reading about this congressional ban on trading stocks by the lawmakers and their spouses. How effective can that be?
I think it could be very effective. Yeah, because today, technically, I'm allowed to trade individual stocks. So let's say I went to so I'm a member of the COVID Select Committee, okay? What if I go into that committee and we have a special briefing about how the Biden administration is going to require a fourth shot? Let's say I find out about that, okay? Before everybody else. I could come out and I could go onto Ameritrade and I could buy Pfizer stock right now. And that's what's allowed today. And I think that's wrong, because whenever a member of Congress buys or sells stock, I think the public believes that they do so based on inside information. And I think we have to stop that, because that will help to improve the trust in Congress.
But with regard to that, the Stock Act of 2012.
Right. 12. Yes.
But that has violation of that has a meager fine of $200.
Yeah.
So if I'm a congressman and if I make millions with the inside
Yes.
information, I would definitely keep my millions and pay the $200 fine.
Right.
So, what is this congressional ban? What is special about it?
Well,
Is there a fine or a good amount of fine instead of this meager $200?
Yeah, the fine is being decided.
Okay.
We
So
proposed.
it's not decided yet.
Yeah, we proposed actually a percentage of the value of the entire stock that you are trading, because that's much more substantial than $250. I think that the real cost from trading stock goes far beyond $250. It erodes trust in Congress.
It's more of an ethical question.
Yes.
But how many people will be ethical in this matter?
That's why we're saying. That's why we're saying, rather than have the Stock Act, which allows people to trade stocks and basically relies on them to be ethical, we just prevent people from trading, or we say don't trade any individual stocks. So my wife is Priya also.
Yes,
so I have a very soft corner for Priya, the word Priya. But my wife Priya and I, right before I came into Congress in 2016, we liquidated all of our individual stocks and we put them all into mutual funds. So now my wife and I are only invested in mutual funds. And under this legislation that I'm proposing, we're saying let everybody be invested in mutual funds. You can buy and sell as you wish, but they're so diversified that you can't necessarily direct the trading of one individual security. And I think that's just much better. And I think that's a more, it creates more trust in Congress.
Yeah, at the same time, I think I see two, one benefit and one drawback. Maybe it will stop new bright students from entering public service because they think, oh, that was a lucrative side hustle.
Right.
Now I can't have that. Then there is another side to it. Only people with
money?
Only, yes, they can enter politics. So that is a drawback too.
Sure.
So I don't know. It's very difficult to find a balance there.
It is.
And
I think.
Otherwise, public service people should be very sincere and very true to their job.
Yes.
Only public service, no motive of money.
I think
that is a good point.
That's a good point. And I think that for hundreds of years, people in Congress thought they could make money off the stock market and use their inside information. And whereas it might have been a perk before, it can't be any longer because too many people have lost trust. And they don't want a member of Congress there in service of their stock portfolio instead of the public.
I mean, it's a very good, I love this. I know you are a part of this.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Then another thing is it always troubles me to think of what happened in Afghanistan.
Yes.
Why did US, I wouldn't say US, we did that. Skedaddling, just like that, without doing any proper handover. We had been there for 20 years, and lots of people's life were jeopardized. I mean, we left them at the mercy of Taliban.
Sure.
Why did we do that?
Well, I think the American public wanted us out of Afghanistan, but the way in which we departed was maybe suboptimal. It was not handled well. I think that looking back, we should have done at least two things. One, we should have processed all those people who wanted to leave Afghanistan much faster, because there were literally thousands of applications that were just languishing for months before we actually departed. So that's the first thing. Second thing is we had to coordinate with our allies. We did not coordinate with them. NATO allies and the others, to make sure there was an orderly way to secure our people and to remove our nationals out of Afghanistan. And we did not do that. And now contrast that with Ukraine. We're right now in a very difficult, challenging situation. one of the good aspects of the way that we're handling this is we're coordinating with our
Coordinating,
allies.
Yes, I noticed that.
Yeah.
I mean, that is what I was amazed, because if we can do things this way in Russian-Ukraine situation, then why couldn't we do the
Right.
same thing? Because that was more like leaving people at the mercy of Taliban is like, oh,
I know.
it is unbelievable.
I know.
So I felt really, really, even today, it kind of haunts me when
Yes.
I read about these people, it's, I don't know, maybe it's me. Anyway, now that you mentioned about the Russian-Ukraine situation, do you think these sanctions can stop Russia or Putin? Because Putin is not new to sanctions.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think that Putin has such an emotional connection to Ukraine, and he's almost maniacal about Ukraine. I'm not sure what will exactly stop him, but we have to raise the cost as high as possible, and we have to assist our Ukrainian friends in defending themselves. And my hope is we can still find a diplomatic off-ramp, but Putin has already entered Ukraine. He's now within that eastern region that has broken off from Ukraine. He's already recognized them as separate.
Donbass.
Yeah, Donbass. And he has, in my opinion, already committed violations. We have to hopefully stop him right there. And we have to do so in a unified way with our allies.
Do you think Russia feels that we have violated the NATO promise? Not promise. There was, I don't know whether there was a contract or something that we won't extend beyond Germany, East Germany. And is that why? Or Putin is just creating trouble?
I think that there's definitely a concern in Russia that we took advantage of their weakness at the fall of the Soviet Union and began expanding eastward in a way that threatened Russia. However, now, that history has already happened. And
we cannot cling to that.
No, like Poland and the Lithuanian states, for instance, have made their decision. And, we're not going to reverse that decision, nor are we going to reverse the decision of Romania and others. So, we are here right now, and we have to recognize reality and then move forward.
Okay, good. So are we going to do anything about the rising petrol prices here?
Well,
because in California, it's already started. I read today morning.
Oh, it's increasing?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, if the Ukrainian situation gets more tense, then certainly the price of oil will go up, and petrol and gas prices will go up. All that being said, I think that the Biden administration will do what it can to release, petrol and gasoline out of the strategic petroleum reserve. At the same time, there will be no new producers of gasoline and refined products. And as the price of oil goes up, more people will bring their supplies online. And as supplies go up, price should go down. But we have to monitor this very closely because it's going up, and it hurts people when they see the gas prices go up.
As an American citizen, I always feel very safe here, thanks to people like you. So, Raja, I see that you are a member of N number of committees. When I looked at that page in your...
Yeah, I try not to look at it either because it makes me a little nervous.
Yes, I was like, so how do you de-stress yourself? I mean, how do you balance your work and personal life? Being a member of this many committees, and I watched some of your videos, you are you do your homework well, you have facts and figures with you every time when you question, when you do these trials and everything. You're very good. You do your homework very well, and I don't see that. I looked at other, I did a comparative study of other congressmen too.
Yeah.
None of them, they don't do as much homework as you.
We do a lot of homework.
Yes.
I've pulled several all-nighters
Yes,
in Washington and here preparing. I think that it's my duty to be
Yeah.
prepared because those moments are really special. It's not every day you get to question the Secretary of Defense or you get to question somebody. So for those 5 minutes, you have to be ready.
So your law degree from Harvard, does that help with your
Yeah, and
preparation?
probably my training at my law my private practice of law really helped because I feel that there's a certain way, there's a certain method that you need to employ to question people. Again, in a limited period of time, you don't have much time to waste. And so if you really want to get at the truth or you want to really understand the ambiguity, you need to be prepared.
How do you balance?
Oh, balance?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't
So
know that there is a
What
balance.
do you do during your free time, if you have some free time?
My free time, I'm kind of a very boring guy. If I'm not scheduled or if I have free time, I just spend it with my family. And
that is not boring.
And what I do, I a lot of times I'm just playing with my daughter. She's 5 years old, or my sons. A lot of times, especially when they have activities, I just Priya tells me to go here, go there, take this, take that. And I just do what I'm told. I try to earn my my place.
That's nice. That's nice. So you don't. How much of Tamil Nadu instilled in you by your parents? In you, like language, food, traditions.
Traditions. Interestingly, it's a fair amount. My wife is especially, she speaks Tamil extremely well. I understand quite well.
You don't speak Tamil.
I can, but then you'll say, please speak English. So I'll speak if I have to, no problem. But my wife, she speaks just like she was there, and so our families definitely keep up the traditions, and so we we're as my parents like to say, they're Pakka South Indian.
Pakka South Indian.
So they very much enjoy Carnatic music. My mother still sings. My father plays mridangam. Yeah, and so they're very much at home with people from South India, but also everywhere in India. Yeah.
Oh, so do you enjoy South Indian food?
Oh yeah. We love idli, vade, sambar, all that. Of course, as you know, if you grow up in this country, you mix it with all kinds of local food. So you might have idli, vade, sambar with pasta. Salad, salad, all that. So we have the best of both worlds.
Yes, that's true. That's very true. So thank you.
Thank you.
No, thank you, Raja. I wish I had more time because you are not a boring person. You are an interesting person.
Oh my gosh! Thank you for telling me that. That makes me feel better.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for joining me with this conversation. In this conversation, and there is a reason. When this my friends in truecopythink have been asking me to introduce people of Indian origin. Who have made an impact in America, the first person that came to my mind is you.
Oh my God.
There is a reason for that, because usually the smartest, brightest Indian kids and their parents want their kids to be doctors, engineers, lawyers, or these corporate professionals. Very few people will enter politics or public service. And personally, that's my opinion. I don't agree with that, because I think America and India are the largest democracies of this world.
Yes.
And the freedom that we enjoy is the result of our forefathers' sacrifice. And we need to preserve that freedom at any cost.
I understand. And I agree. And, because of people like you and Robin and your family and others, I think we will have a new generation of
Yes,
people. So
yes.
I just want to say thank you.
Yeah, so for that we need
Thank you.
brightest people, and in this regard, you are a role model to the younger
Thank you.
generation of both India and America.
Thank you.
So thank you, and keep doing the good work.
Thank you
Raja.
so much.
You make us very proud.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm so
thank
grateful.
you.
Thank you, Priya. Okay.